It was a total fabrication, which we had to go ahead and end up incarcerated on just falsified allegations. I then went ahead and filed through with pleadings, motion to dismiss, and showing the court they had lack of jurisdiction because we were Native Americans. They failed at that time to follow through with the Indian Child Welfare Act that has extreme prerequisites of following through. In order for you to go ahead and prosecute a Native, you must follow through detail by detail. The Indian Child Welfare Act is a policy followed, and they were supposed to be followed through. And I indicated prior to the Sheriff's Department to go ahead and take my children, apprehend them, and take them to the and turn them into the representative that is the representative of the state of CYFD. I indicate to them they're not to be separated into foster homes, and they're supposed to not go to non-Indian foster homes. Well, they did contrary. They went ahead and followed through and broke all the laws, the federal laws, advocated for us Native Americans. The Child Welfare Act is under Title 25 U.S.C. 1901. It's to be strictly complied with by state officials. There's even prerequisites for the state courts to go ahead and follow through with the strict compliance, and every one of those compliances in them rules for the state courts that are issued out by the federal departments were violated. All the state statutes were violated. And the agreements with the federal department and the audit department, they get relief from the federal funding, and that federal funding comes to $71 million as of the last allotment that they received for apprehending children and caring for them. And all those agreements that they had made, they had breached them, and that allows for the federal department to go ahead and terminate their federal funding. They had many secret court meetings. The first secret court meeting I was not at was when they had an ex parte hearing, and they forced counsel on me behind my back, and that forced counsel without his order to gain personal jurisdiction over the individual in personam. I saw the things that were going on, and I didn't desire to have any court-appointed counsel. I indicated this to the judge that I can afford my own counsel, and I wanted my own choice of counsel. I terminated with the first attorney they forced upon me, but the problem in that secret meeting was that they were trying to obtain jurisdiction over me. When they filed through with the petition, I had a petition. It was supposed to be served upon me. It served upon a neighbor friend of mine, approximately about 15 miles away. I didn't have any knowledge of that petition, and it was served upon her, and she called me up and said to me that I had to go see this attorney, attend this attorney regarding my children. Nothing in their court record reflects I was ever served. And according to the noncompliance of the Indian Child Welfare Act, I was never served by a registered mail. And according to state law and their state statutes, you're supposed to be served with a certified mail return receipt. It was not complied with. I got communications that were secret because they refused to allow me to communicate with my children. And my children gave me many different types of information with regards to what was occurring to them. They were using drugs on my children. They were forcing drugs. My children had never been administered any type of chemical drugs, and I was very suspicious as to what they were doing, and they were disallowing me to speak with them, and many of the times they had to be secret in order to go ahead and communicate with me, and in order to give me information, inside information. I had alerted the department that, and I also sent them certified mail return receipts that their Western medicine I did not believe in. Their Western medicine was in opposition to our cultural ways and our right of beliefs, and this was in violation of our First Amendment Constitution.
Now, when you say our First Amendment Constitution, you're referring to everybody in the United States, the United States Constitution?
Correct. This is the national constitution and the state constitution. Also, we have a Native American constitution that we can't have these rights infringed upon. And I made this plain with them, but they ignored all of my demands. I made my presentation to the court. His name was Magistrate Judge Currier, and Charles Currier was hearing this case, and it was also deeply pressed, that I was a Native American medicine man. I was known in the community approximately about 10 years, and I had a large drawing of a lot of people that I took care of. And like I'm saying, is from the beginning of the court proceedings all the way through the end, I was harassed, and my character assassinations done to myself and my children as to our ways and our religious ways and our beliefs, which were contrary to what they were trying to impose upon us. I also, like I'm saying, they had many experiences. I had experience that they had secret meetings behind my back. They signed documents behind my back. And on one occasion, I was locked out of court during one of the proceedings. It was supposed to be a proceeding for me regarding my children. They allowed all the other parties to the proceeding in. My ex-wife, one of my child, that was my oldest daughter, and the rest of the people. At that time, I had no counsel. Counsel wasn't able to appear on that date. I had a late notice. I made the appearance and was asking for a continuance. They, after I had gotten into the court, I had been locked out, and they had their meeting without me, and then they called me in later on. But during that time period, I contacted 3 individuals. I went downstairs, used my cell telephone because they do not allow cell telephone in the court system. I made 3 calls. I made one to Carol Whitaker, which is a court officer of the state of Missouri, to alert her as to what they had done. I also made a call to Mary Ellen Ellerson, the foster adopted grandmother that me and the children adopted as the grandmother, to make them aware of what had occurred. I also made a call to the attorney that was supposed to make his appearance, but he was not there, but I placed the information onto his voicemail. Further, I went ahead and on the following day, I sent in a fax notice that they had locked me out of the hearing. I had a witness there on hand to make this verifiable for court documentation.
Was there a transcript made of that hearing? Was there a court reporter?
Yeah, to my knowledge, I had no knowledge as to what they had followed through with. They had gone ahead and had the hearing, and I didn't apprehend anything from that. I wasn't aware whether they had made the transcript. I tried to apprehend tapes, but I didn't find anything. But here is a copy of a document I'd like to show. It was a notice of desist, and it was sent certified mail. And on you may show the front page where it shows the certification. On the back page, what it shows is our ways, our culture, and my notices to the CYFD and the prosecuting attorney, which is the county attorney, that we did not believe in Western medicine. That's just within about 4 days after they had apprehended my children.
The CYFD, that's equivalent to the DHS in Iowa.
Yeah, that's correct, yes.
And there's the back page.
And that lists all our beliefs, the way we believe, and we did not believe in any medication whatsoever. I have a copy, a second document that I submitted, and this was by fax, and this was the following day because I couldn't get any communication going with the representing attorney that was supposed to be represented, that had already received his monies and wasn't able to appear on that court date. That was the second document.
Did he ask the court for continuance because he could not be there?
No, he asked me to ask for the continuance, and I made my appearance. At the time I made the appearance, I verbally made the motion for continuance for my attorney because of his non-appearance.